I want to show you a crime scene. It's not a bank robbery. It's not a crypto scam. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It is a silent robbery happening inside your own bank account every single month, and you don't even see it. If you are living in a household with two incomes, if both you and your partner are working full-time jobs, you have been gaslit into believing you should be rich. Statistically, you are in the top 20% of earners in human history. You bring in two paychecks. You hustle. You grind. But be honest with me. Look at your bank account at the end of the month. Is it full? Or is it empty? Are you building an empire? Or are you just tired? The reality is, most dual-income families are one missed paycheck away from total disaster. Why? Because you have fallen into the two-income trap. The modern economic system has tricked you into working twice as hard to be half as wealthy as your grandparents were. Today, I am going to prove it to you mathematically. I am going to calculate the real hourly wage of your household's second income. And I'm going to show you the terrifying truth. After taxes, childcare, commuting, and the convenience tax, your partner isn't working for profit. They are paying for the privilege of working. I'm Ryan. And if you are tired of making $150,000 a year and feeling broke, do not skip a second of this video. We are going to audit your life right now. To understand how we got scammed, we have to look at the crime scene before the crime happened. We have to look at 1970. In 1970, the typical American middle-class family had one income. Usually, the father worked and the mother stayed home. Now, I don't care about the social politics of this. I care about the math. That single income, often from a factory job or a mid-level office job, was enough to buy a 3-bedroom house. It bought a car. It paid for healthcare. It put food on the table. And it even paid for a state college education. One person working 40 hours a week could fund an entire life. And most importantly, that family had safety. They had a backup generator. If the dad got sick, injured, or laid off, the mom could enter the workforce to save the family. They had an emergency engine in reserve. Fast forward to 2026. The rules have changed. Two incomes is now the mandatory standard. You and your partner both work. You have doubled your labor. You are selling 80 hours of your life to corporations every week instead of 40. Logically, you should have double the wealth, right? You should have 2 houses. You should be driving Ferraris. You should be swimming in cash. But you aren't. You live in the same size house your grandparents did, except yours costs 10 times more. You drive a car that you lease because you can't afford to buy it. And you have 0 time, 0 energy, and 0 backup generator. If one of you loses your job today, the math breaks. The mortgage doesn't get paid. The lights go out. You are running the engine at 100% capacity just to stay in the same place. So where did the money go? It wasn't magic. It was stolen by 3 specific expenses that only exist for two-income families. Let's do the math. Let's imagine a typical modern couple. Let's call them John and Jane. John makes $75,000. Jane makes $55,000. Combined, they make $130,000 a year. On paper, they look like the American dream. But let's look at what actually happens to Jane's $55,000 second income. Expense number 1 is the silent partner, the IRS. Most people do not understand how progressive tax brackets work. They think, oh, I pay 15% tax. No, you don't. Think of your income like filling up buckets. John's income, the first $75,000, fills up the cheap buckets. He pays the 10% rate, then the 12% rate. He gets the standard deduction. But Jane's income? Because she is the second earner, her money gets stacked on top of John's. Her first dollar is taxed at John's highest marginal rate. She doesn't get the cheap buckets. She starts at the expensive bucket. Federal tax pushes her immediately into the 22% bracket. Then add state tax. Let's average it at 6%. Then add FICA, Social Security, and Medicare. That's another 7.65%. Suddenly, that $55,000 isn't $55,000. The government takes roughly 35% of it off the top. That is $19,250 gone before the check even hits the bank account. Jane is left with $35,750. Now, we deduct the cost of doing business. The work tax. You have kids? Of course you do. And because both of you are working 9 to 5, nobody is home to watch them. You have to outsource parenting. You have to pay for daycare. The average cost of center-based daycare in the U.S. is now roughly $15,000 per child per year. If you live in a city like New York or Boston, it's $25,000. But let's be conservative. Let's say you found a cheap place for $15,000. Jane's $35,750 is now down to $20,750. But wait, how does Jane get to work? She needs a car. In a one-income family, you can share a car. In a two-income family, you need two vehicles to get to two different jobs at 8:30 a.m. That means a second car payment, a second insurance premium, a second set of tires, a second gas tank to fill every week. According to AAA, the average cost to own and operate a compact car in 2026 is roughly $8,500 a year. Jane's $20,750 is now down to $12,250. And we haven't even talked about the professional costs. Work clothes, dry cleaning, office gifts, the mandatory happy hour contributions. Let's call that a modest $1,000 a year. We are down to $11,250. And finally, the hidden killer that nobody puts on a spreadsheet, the exhaustion tax. This is the psychological cost of the two-income trap. When you both work 40 to 50 hours a week, plus commuting, you are exhausted. You get home at 6:30 p.m. The kids are screaming. You are drained. Do you have the energy to cook a healthy meal from scratch? No. Do you have the energy to deep clean the house? No. So what do? You buy your time back. You order DoorDash 3 times a week. You buy expensive pre-made convenience meals at the grocery store. You hire a cleaner to come twice a month because the house is a disaster. You pay for a landscaper because you don't have time to mow the lawn on Saturday. This is the convenience premium. It costs a fortune to be too busy to live. Conservatively, a dual-income family spends $5,000 to $7,000 more per year on convenience than a single-income family who has the time to manage the household. Let's deduct $5,000. Let's look at the bottom line. Jane earned $55,000 gross. Minus taxes, $19,000. Minus childcare, $15,000. Minus car, $8,500. Minus work costs, $1,000. Minus exhaustion, $5,000. Net profit, $6,500. Jane worked 2,000 hours this year. She dealt with a boss she hates. She sat in 200 hours of traffic. She missed her kids' first steps. And she brought home $6,500 of actual, usable wealth. Do the math. $6,500 divided by 2,000 hours equals $3.25 an hour. Your wife is working for $3.25 an hour. That is not a career. That is financial servitude. You are selling your freedom for pennies, and you don't even realize it because the gross number looks big on the tax return. But Ryan, you scream at the screen, we need that money. We can't afford our house without it. And that is the trap. You are absolutely right. You can't afford your house without it. But have you ever asked why your house is so expensive? It's because of the two-income bidding war. In 1970, when families went to buy a house, they were bidding with one income. In 2026, every family you are competing against has two incomes. When everyone has twice as much money to throw at housing, housing prices don't stay flat. They double. You are in an arms race. You aren't buying a house, you are buying a zip code. You are buying a school district. And the price of admission to the middle class is now 2 souls instead of 1. The bank looks at your combined $130,000 and they allow you to borrow $500,000. They lock you into a mortgage that requires both of you to run on the hamster wheel until you are 65. You traded your freedom for a granite countertop and a slightly better school zone. And the worst part? You are fragile. Because your expenses, the mortgage, the cars, the childcare, are locked in at the two-income level, you have zero margin for error. If you get divorced, bankrupt. If you get sick, bankrupt. If the economy turns, bankrupt. You have built a financial house of cards on a foundation that requires 100% efficiency forever. So what is the solution? Is the answer to just quit your job tomorrow? No, that's suicide. You are already in the trap. If you quit now, you lose the house. But you can build a ladder to climb out. Here is the Ryan Invest rule to break the trap. It is called the one-income foundation. You need to declare a financial state of emergency in your house. Step 1, the audit. Sit down with your partner this weekend. Look at the real math I just showed you. Calculate your own real hourly wage. It might be $3. It might be negative See the truth. Step 2. The restructure. Your goal, over the next 24 months, is to restructure your life so that your fixed expenses, mortgage, taxes, utilities, food, can be paid by partner A's income alone. I know that sounds impossible. It might mean selling the expensive SUVs and buying used Toyotas for cash. It might mean moving to a smaller house or a cheaper neighborhood. It might mean aggressive budgeting. But you have to stop the bleeding. Step 3. The velocity shift. Once you can survive on one income, partner B's income changes. It stops being survival money and starts being velocity money. If partner B keeps working, every single dollar of that income, after taxes, goes 100% into buying assets. It goes into paying off the mortgage. It goes into the S&P 500. It goes into buying rental properties. If you use the second income to buy stuff, you will be broke forever. If you use the second income to buy freedom, you will be a millionaire in 7 years. The system wants you to be a two-income slave. It wants you exhausted. It wants you ordering DoorDash. It wants you leasing cars. It wants you too tired to ask questions. Don't let them win. Reclaim your math. Reclaim your time. And stop working for $3 an hour. I'm Ryan. And if you want to know exactly where to put that velocity money to make it grow the fastest, the specific assets that beat inflation and the banks, you need to watch this video right here. I break down the only 3 assets that are safe in this new economy. Click right here, and I'll see you there.